All right, let's go live. Greetings, birds, turds, and nerds. I have a special guest I'm just waiting for, but might as well get this stream on the road. So let's see who is first. And thank you, everyone. I am now on the certified nerd list that Anti-Tracker and Bird of Prey put together. Let's see who will make it first into the chat. But LDG Pixels is doing a Risk game right now, so I don't expect a large audience. Oh, there goes the chat. It just jumped. Life with Matthew is first. Greetings, Wesley Crusher. Tough spots. Greetings, turds, birds, and nerds. Orville family first. Oh, you almost made it first. Would any of you guys like? I just almost clicked on the wrong link. Any of you guys like on the panel while I'm waiting for my friend to finish eating his lunch? The silence. It's hurting me. Where's all the noise? Orville family, I'm gonna go tweet this. Be right back. Oh, you're gonna tweet. Oh, you're gonna shout me out. Thank you. And give me just a moment. I'm gonna try to get a hold of my friend. Go, hey, we're waiting for you. And Captain Trek is in the chat. I put a link to the StreamYards if any of you guys want on, but I'm waiting for my friend to get back from his lunch before I have. So I will have him on shortly. No takers. No one wants to come up and talk to me. Mr. CCDV, dang, he was fourth. And Bird of Prey is in the chat too. All right, where's my friend? He's lagging. This probably won't be too long of a stream. Bird of Prey wants to play some City Skylines within the next hour. And oh, thanks, Captain Trek, for tweeting this out. Does anyone want on the panel? No word back from my friend. And I don't want to spoil a surprise. I want him to introduce himself. But he's a gamer that has his own Twitch channel, and I'm trying to expand his audience a little bit. Oh, we have Mr. Captain Trek.
Yeah, what's going on today?
Oh, not much. Father's Day, I spent the morning with my parents. Now I'm home. I've had a friend that I've been meaning to get on my channel just so he can do a shout out, talk about his Twitch channel. He's trying to get his audience a little bit broader, just like me.
Right.
I figured, I reached 100. Woohoo, big, mark.
Definitely.
Mr. CCDV, I'll be right there. Let me set up. All right, cool, man. How was your Father's Day? Did you either go see your dad, or do you have kids yourself, or?
No, I spent some time with my dad, but nope, don't have any kids.
I have a new subscriber, Admiral Oliver Franklin Doom. Wait, what? Is that the channel name? All right, cool. Thanks. I got another subscriber. Yeah, it's always good to spend time with family when you got the chance. Oh, Admiral Oliver Franklin Doom. Greetings and salutations, all. Well, thank you for subscribing. I try to put out at least some content. Mostly just kind of do the games. This channel is just kind of for fun.
Of course,
But
that's what.
occasionally it's nice to have a little, panel chats. There is Mr. CCDV. What does it stand for again? Christian Conservative something veteran?
Disabled.
Disabled veteran. Yeah.
Disabled veteran.
Good call, though. That was a pretty good memory.
Have you said it before?
Oh, yeah, several times.
Yep. Actually, he has.
Well, I don't think I was there for all of them.
Otherwise known as the drunken philosopher.
That name I'm familiar with. How was your Father's Day? You have kids, so.
Allie, that's mean. Why shouldn't he let CCDV on?
Wait, what? Who said something?
Oh,
Don't let CCDV on.
Yeah, I've got 4 kids. 19-year-old, she hasn't contacted me yet. My 16-year-old and 10-year-old have said hi, and my 15-year-old hasn't contacted me yet either. So, no worries.
Yeah, kids, they do that.
Love you too, Allie. Thank you. Hello, Admiral.
Yeah, I haven't seen Admiral Oliver around. Is he news to the community, or?
Oh, no, he's been around for a long time. As a matter of fact, he puts out really good content. So the fact that he's got, well, I don't know. Did you go up from last night? I know you had 11 at the end of the night when we finished karaoke.
Who? What? Me or?
No, Admiral OF Doom. Oliver.
I don't know.
No, I was just asking him. When we started, he had nine subs, and I know at least 2 of us subbed.
Oh, that's not acceptable. We got to get that up to 14.
Oh, made it to 14. Right on.
To like 28.
But he does. He puts out great content. I've watched several of the videos so far. Good stuff.
Let me try to look up his channel. Aha! Hey, there you are.
Hello.
I've been waiting for you, sir.
I know you have, and I'm sorry. I've literally been awake for like an hour.
Okay, this is my special guest. He has named himself Blackvash.
Hey! You know where that name came from?
Yes, I can explain it if you want, or you can explain it.
Oh no, I could totally explain it. Like I feel like this is like the probably the most political I'll ever get. I feel like in the culture that we live in right now, it might be better if it came from me. So, with that being said, here's how I got the name Blackvash. So back in like 2007, 2005, I bought this this Vasta Stampede cosplay that I didn't wear to a convention until like 2007. Excuse me. I think like maybe like 2 years later in like 2009, I went to my first, no, it was 2008. It was my first gathering because I was like walking around in this costume, in this cosplay. Walked around a Trigun gathering. Everybody like took one look, pointed at me, and was like, "You get over here now!" And I'm like, "Okay." So we did all these. We did all the posing and things that that cosplayers do at their own gatherings. And like at the time, everybody had their own nickname. We had like Tall Vash, Leather Vash. We had like a tall Wolfwood. He was like a little taller than I am. I'm like 6'3". He's like taller than I am. And it was just a thing that it's just a thing that we had kind of designated ourselves to identify each other in cosplay names because nobody knew each other's real names at the time. And they're like, you could be Black Vash? And I'm like, okay. And it just stuck.
Yeah. For my viewers who are not sure what he's talking about, Trigun is an anime. We were at an anime convention. Everyone likes to dress up as their favorite character.
Right, I probably should have mentioned that. I'm sorry.
Because a lot of my viewers were part of a nerd community on YouTube. We follow all the kind of same channels. We talk a lot about Star Trek, a little bit of Star Wars, this and that, but not a lot of like anime stuff comes up.
Gotcha. You'd be surprised actually at how much that like intertwines.
Yeah. Okay, where's everyone else? Any other quick comments you want to say, man? Or we can kind of do like a question and answer kind of thing.
Well, I should probably go into like what I'm doing here, I guess, or unless you.
Well, I was telling everyone a little bit. So, you started up your own Twitch channel.
I did.
And you do videos regularly, like what, once a week or?
About once a week. It's a little hard. Usually once a week. The struggle is that I work a full-time job. From like 8:30 to like 5:30 every day. So, sometimes I just get really tired. But like I would stream a lot more than I normally do. Like actually, I think there was like one week that I streamed for like I had like 2 streams in a week, and it was like the most amazing and tiring thing I've ever done. But yeah, like I basically I tend to stream most commonly I think around like like 6:30, like 6 o'clock, 6:30 on Tuesdays on Pacific time, and I usually go for like 2 hours.
And you do it on Twitch, and you do different games. What games have you played or plan to do next?
It's a little random. I've usually formatted it as this is a game that I like playing at the time. I'm gonna pop it in and then talk and play while talking to the chat. Now I've done like special things. Like the last stream I did was for The Last of Us because The Last of Us 2 was coming out that week. Excuse me. But usually it's a little random. I'll look at my collection of games and be like, I wonder what I want to play today, or when I stream, I'm like, what do I want to play this time? It's actually I've been doing a lot of Kingdom Hearts 3 lately. I've done stuff like Dragon Age Inquisition. What else did I do? Obviously, The Last of Us. Jedi Fallen Order was one that I did, and that was a lot of fun to do on stream. But I usually don't do anything like super concentration intensive, like an FPS or something like that, because it's like I either hop on the FPS and I do as well as I can, and it's usually not very well at all, or I die way more than I usually do and stumble over my words a lot more than I usually do. Mm-hmm. All of that to say, basically, I don't know what I typically stream. I usually know like maybe the day of or the day before, but I'll usually announce what I'm doing so that people are like, hey, this is what to expect.
Now, if you want, I can put a link to your Twitch in the chat.
Oh, absolutely. Feel free.
But hey, my other friends, do you guys have any questions for my special guest?
Well, as you know, I'm not actually a gamer.
Yeah, you enjoy watching a little bit, you know.
I do enjoy watching, and I like making fun of you while you're trying to play that game. So,
Hey, it sounds like you'd fit right in, actually.
See, sometimes it's good for us to have someone who's not familiar with the thing we're playing, so they can ask questions. Be like, "What the hell is this, and what is it about?"
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. What's with the cardboard box with the spray paint on the side?
Or like, why are you swinging around a giant key?
I've never infiltrated a camp with a cardboard box on my head, but whatever.
Actually, that sounds like something I should probably do next time I play.
Well, at the next Milsim event, I really, really want to try it. I'm trying to convince my friends to cover me, though. They'll actually be snipers hiding in the buildings, and then giving me directions. Okay, like move forward 5 feet, move to your right 5. So,
Yeah,
sure. Yeah,
and
you would
it'd be
have to have
hilarious.
that kind of covering fire in order to be able to infiltrate like that.
Yeah, you'd stick out like a sore thumb, dude.
Well, I just want to do it for shits and giggles and see how close I can actually get to the enemy's base.
Of course, I do
And
it
then
too.
hopefully have someone have some kind of recording device to get it on camera when they like discover me and just shoot the hell out of the box.
Hey, the Orville family in the chat is asking if there's a link to Black Vash, Twitch,
Yeah.
Twitter, YouTube, etc.
Yeah,
So
actually, I do have a Twitter. Actually, I do have. What do I have?
If you paste it into the private chat, I can copy and paste it into the actual YouTube chat.
Yeah, let me harvest those things. I'm on Twitch, Instagram. I've got my cosplay page up on Facebook and Twitter. I think that's all of it. I should be way more up on the stuff that I'm on. So give me 1 second. I'll go ahead and post those links for you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I haven't actually watched people play video games since my days in the barracks. We'd get a lunchtime and we'd all go to someone's room who had the PlayStation. It wasn't PlayStation 2 or 3 or 4. It was the PlayStation.
Oh yeah.
And we were all excited that it hooked up to the internet.
All right, here is his Twitch channel.
But the graphics these days are just incredible compared to those days.
Oh, absolutely.
And prior to that, it was the NES. So
oh, you did that too.
Yeah, there was a large gap in time between the NES and the PlayStation. And then, of course, a large gap in time between PlayStation and PS4. So,
so here's what I did. I think I did about the same thing you did. It sounds like when I was young, I had an NES, and then we jumped up like straight from that to the PlayStation 1. But after that, I've gone up a little incrementally. So I did PS2, PS3, PS4, like just straight up the gate. But going from PS1, like from NES to PS1, oh man, that was an experience.
Oh yeah, I can't play any games with a remote control that has more than 4 buttons and a toggle switch.
Oh, and one more. Here is his cosplay Facebook.
Have you seen those those mock-ups that people have been like making for before the PS5 controller was revealed? There's like this weird monstrosity of like a PS4 controllers with like 8 analog sticks on it.
Jeez, criminy.
People have said that every single like new generation.
It's true. It's absolutely been.
I mean, I've seen like a mock-up of it was the 64 controller, but with like extra, like it looked like two more controllers coming out of each, or like a controller coming out of each side. And you know how insane the 64 controller already was.
Oh yeah, like the 64 controller. I don't know what they were thinking.
People don't have 3 hands.
No, they
Admiral,
don't.
Admiral Oliver Franklin Doom would like to state that is this where I mentioned that I have 2 ColecoVisions in the next room and I still play with them? And I built an old school arcade game that's just right behind me.
Yes, and I want pictures.
I haven't seen his ColecoVisions, but I did see his arcade game. It was pretty neat.
I have this friend. He lives out in like Victorville, I think. But like, dude has like, you walk into his like basically how it goes. You walk through his door, you turn right, and that there's like this huge row of arcade games. He's got stuff like 1942 and like the original like Tron and the original Star Wars.
I used to love playing 1942.
Dude, 1942 is the bomb game.
That was one of the games I loved playing.
Now, just so we're on the same page, this is the one where it's like it's scrolling up and you're controlling a fighter like all the way through. It's basically a bullet hell game.
I'm gonna have to step out real quick, but just keep the chat going.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah, you're controlling a bomber, right? And the very beginning of the game says B-52 bomber.
Oh, I love those games. I love that entire genre of game, even though like I suck at them all. Like I've never beaten a single one.
Oh, I can't beat any. I've never beat any game ever. I mean, I even watched my friend and my brother beat Super Mario Brothers 18 times, and I still can't beat Super Mario Brothers.
You know, I haven't either. I have not once beaten the original Super Mario Brothers. There is a huge list of games I've never actually beaten. That's one. The one that comes to mind, I've had like Mega Man 4 since the NES days. Still never beat it.
But I loved playing games like Contra and stuff like that. I mean, could never get to the end, but it was a lot of fun playing Contra, especially as a 2-person game, you know?
Oh, yeah. It's just the experience of playing it. You're never expected to actually beat the damn thing. That was just games back then, man.
Yeah, but I think the last time I was really excited about playing video games was it was on the Atari, and it was the guy who swung on vines over pits.
Oh, Pitfall.
Pitfall. Ah, yes. I think that was the last time I was ever excited to put a cartridge in. Every time since then, I've been like, oh, God, I have to play a video game because I'm a kid and okay. I figured out that I don't actually have to play video games after I broke 2 remote controls, and I just went, okay, I'm done.
Now you're starting to sound like my little sister. No, this isn't an indictment on you, but this is like basically we used to play video games here and there, like back when we were like preteen years, like on up to like maybe early teen years. Then she just lost interest. But what happened is that like I'd invited her to play a game with me. We'd play 2-player Mario Brothers. I'd go to like 3 worlds on and then die. It'd be her turn next. She'd go like wouldn't even get through the first world, like even the first stage, without biting it, and like basically all her lives would go. And every single time, last death, she'd like pout a little bit and throw the controller directly at the control deck every single time.
See, I never wanted to hurt anyone's TV or control system or anything like that, so I always just grabbed the remote and squeezed and twisted. When I became a 12 years old, I guess. I did that once and it broke the controller, and I thought, oh, well, that's an old controller. And then the next time I did it, I went, oh, it's not an old controller. My bad.
What, you would break controllers just by touching them?
Well, I would squeeze and twist them, yeah.
Like, close enough, really.
So I wouldn't throw them because I knew what my anger level was.
Oh yeah, like you're talking to a guy who would like go into the garage, and this is like way past me. I'm not this guy anymore. But you're talking to a guy who used to like go into the garage when he was like really pissed off and like punch the garage door.
Oh yeah. I've punched through drywall so many times you have no idea.
I mean, the aluminum garage door. I was never a smart teen.
Wesley, Admiral Oliver Franklin Doom would like to know how to share the pictures of his gaming systems. Do you have a place that he can DM them to, or do you want him to come on live and share them, or what?
I could try to add them as a moderator. All right. You are wrenched. You should be able to paste links if it's a direct link to like a web page or something. Otherwise, I have no pictures, not sure how to share them. Or I have pictures. Other than that, I guess the best way would be to join one of the Discord servers that we all go to and just paste them there.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
And I think my attention is needed.
And he's off again.
Like, I shall return. My city needs me.
I actually need to ask Admiral Oliver Franklin Doom if there's if the ColecoVision is the one that you can independently program, or if it might have been a Commodore that my brother was using. I'm not really sure. I honestly thought it was a video game system, but one of the video games he was able to program the system to show, please insert 25 cents. Every time you put in the cartridge and every time you turn the game on, it was please insert 25 cents. And I'm not sure which system it was. I think it was Coleco, but I'm not positive.
Now that actually sounds really fun. Unfortunately,
my brother,
that's not an era that I'm familiar with, unfortunately.
Yeah, my brother is the programmer of the family. I know how to turn a computer on and turn a microphone on. That's about it.
Yeah, I can use it. That's about as far as I go. As far as like building anything with like computing language, I'm not that guy.
Oh yeah, I know. I have to go to a website and go, okay, so this is how it goes, and you go click, click, click. Oh, that is what I want. Okay.
What are you guys talking about?
The fact that we don't know programming language on computers.
Yeah.
Okay. So the Coleco was what he programmed to say, please insert 25 cents. Every time we tried to play a game on it, he did that. Oh my God, that was funny.
Now, how far back do we go as far as console knowledge? Like at the absolute furthest back that I actually go is I think the Atari 2600.
As a little tyke, I remember my grandparents bought a Pong console, and it was a console that was as long as the television, and they plugged it in through the cable jack on the back of the television, and there were just two controllers, and all it was a dial, and that's it.
Nice.
And so we played Pong for 18 hours that day.
Hey, you play what you got to.
Yeah.
If you're gonna play, you put in what you have, and then you just go.
But I mean, then of course, in what 1980 or 1981, video games weren't ginormous or anything like that. So I'd ride my bike instead of trying to figure out new video games. So I remember Pong, and then we got an Atari, and that's the jump for me. So
My older cousin of about 4 years had the Atari, and I got to play it a little bit, but
Yeah.
not much. So
yeah, Pac-Man and Pitfall were my favorites.
I think, let's see. Okay, so when I say I had an Atari 2600, I did actually have the thing. Unfortunately, it didn't work at all. But if it did,
Oh, we all had
secondhand.
rituals to get those stupid consoles working. Blow on the cartridge, turn it on and off 14 times, and then
yeah,
reset 3 times, and
especially with the NES. But no, I had the Atari 2600. It got it secondhand. It didn't work at all. We tried. The funny thing though is, had it worked, I would have had Missile Command.
Oh, Missile Command. I hated Missile Command. I sucked at it.
Isn't that the mantra for games that we, suck at? Like, we hate them because they're they're terrible games, but it's really
well, they were good for their time, but I hated them because I couldn't play them. That's why.
Exactly.
I have a swath of Sega Genesis games that I was never really able to beat. Only a few of them was ever able to beat.
But that's most games back in those days. I feel like there's this channel I watch on YouTube, Larry Bundy Jr. goes by Guru Larry, and there's this video there's a series of videos that he posts about games that were intentionally programmed to not be beatable because they're arcade games. So
oh right, so they would go
to the
up
arcade
infinite levels and just keep speeding up.
Well, it's not even that too, but there are games where an end boss wasn't even programmed because you weren't supposed to get that far.
Oh, in television, holy cow! Admiral Oliver Franklin Doom. Thank you for being older than me.
You are dude. You're absolutely schooling me right now.
I remember in television. Holy crap! In television had a dial with a button on the side. Yeah, that was badass at the time.
Nice.
So, if we look back at the last 30, 40 years of gaming technology, where do you think, if the progress continues, where do you think we'll be in the next 20, 30 years?
Well, you got the Oculus Rift right now.
Yeah.
And I've been waiting for that, and you've got super realistic rendering even right now. So give it 20 years, and it's going to be lifelike rendering.
I see it going in 2 directions, honestly.
What I've noticed with the VR games is they're not as high res as your traditional games. I guess because it has to just render so much. It's rendering everything around you.
Well, yeah, it's got to render a ton of information, but it also has to recognize the specific input that VR supports, and that's way more resource intensive than just inputs from a controller. It has to register every single arm movement and input potential, really.
Right, and then it's got to pixelate it and put it all on the screen.
Right. So, now in 20 years, I can see things going in 2 directions. One, that the graphical fidelity of VR games would be comparable or surpass the top tier games right now with top tier graphics, like your Call of Duty Modern Warfares, that kind of graphical fidelity, but in VR.
Right.
The other direction I see going is that the industry crashes.
What would he predict that caused the industry to crash.
Honestly, I feel like if the industry were to crash, it'd be from an over reliance on a certain a certain genre of game. Like you know how we have a tendency to like just jump on a particular genre and just like ride it into the ground, right? Like Battle Royale is a great example of that. Where like you had one game that seemed to do well and then a ton of other copycats. And no one's doing anything original. No one's doing their own thing. Now, if you continue to do something like that, where almost everybody's just trying to follow the trend of what's popular at the time, people are eventually going to get sick of it, and I think people would actually stop buying games quite as much as they do. The interesting thing that I think that's keeping that from happening is actually the indie scene, and that might actually save it.
I was about to mention that. Is that I've noticed a lot with the AAA titles, they copy each other. They follow a trend because they're like, oh, this is what's going to sell well. Where the indie companies are the only ones experimenting.
Yeah,
thinking outside of the box.
And if I understand my son correctly, the indie companies are the ones that are posting them on the PlayStation Plus, so you can download one every month, and it's an independent game from the major software developers. So instead of getting a carbon copy of that where you steal a car and run over hookers, what's that one called?
Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft Auto
or Saints Row or
instead of getting a carbon copy of Grand Theft Auto, you get something brand new once a month with the PlayStation Plus. Right. If you're making your choices correct and you go with the independent creators. So I think, honestly, if the independent creators actually keep making content and the progress of computers keep going the way they have been. I mean, they were supposed to be doubling in processing power every year, right? And I think it's slowing down now, but they're getting into the mini micro processing 6 sandwich layer processors and all that stuff. It's all gibberish to me.
They're getting to a point, I think, where they're vastly approaching, they're swiftly approaching the uncanny valley. Like the push to realism, I think, is what's slowing down development in the industry, because they're trying very hard to make things look super realistic in a lot of AAA games, and that can really only take you so far.
Yeah.
And then, of course, once they get it rendered down to a fairly realistic view through a VR set, you're going to get the haptic cod piece where you can have pornography on the videos. So that'll explode the industry.
Oh yeah, totally.
I mean, haptic. What's that? What are you talking about?
I miss games that were more artsy style from the core. Like they intentionally do not go for realism.
Oh yeah, and honestly, those are some of the games that no matter what your no matter what console they come on, like, stand the test of time. Like if you
Admiral Oliver Franklin Doom brings up a very good point. I don't know if you guys remember this or not, or have seen the documentaries on it, but I mean, Atari was crashing long before E.T. came out, but I think E.T. was the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah, that was definitely the thing that that tanked. Like, it wasn't the only thing that tanked the industry, but it was definitely the thing that was the final straw.
Well, E.T. goes under a category of movie converted to game, bad, and a bad importation of that idea. Because there was Ghostbusters and a whole slew of, oh, you like that movie? We'll play the video game, and the video game would have nothing to do with the movie.
Right. Yeah. It was just another puzzle game, and you just went, okay, why am I? And then E.T. was even worse because you would just fall into a pit that you couldn't get out of that had absolutely nothing to do with the story or the game or anything else that was going on. You just get stuck. And you'd have to reset the game and go all over again.
Yeah, all the stories about ET for the Atari are just fascinating train wrecks. They're absolutely fascinating. Now, the funny thing is, they're starting to do it again.
What examples do you have of?
One example that comes to mind is, sadly, I have to actually reference this. Not that I've actually seen it, but you remember the 2016 Ghostbusters movie?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I mean, yes, I've seen it.
Have
once.
You? Only once, right? No, I had the good fortune to not actually watch it, and it just sounds absolutely horrible. Someone made a movie tie-in game for that had absolutely nothing to do with the movie.
Well, they could have made it better.
They could have, but the funny thing is,
if you take a movie that was not popular in theaters, make a game that's roughly based on it, but not, really, you can actually insert stuff that was not in the movie, but maybe should have been.
Wesley.
The funny thing though is it didn't.
No, video games hardly ever have anything to do with the movies. I'd like to share my screen for a minute, if you don't mind.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, just a picture, though. There's no audio necessary. This is the Admiral's game collection.
Oh boy! Oh, that is some history.
That is awesome.
While that collection is more antique than mine is larger. Because somewhere in my totes of storage, I have 2 Sega Genesis, 1 Sega Nomad, Sega Saturn, the original PlayStation, maybe 2 of them, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, of course my PlayStation 4. What else do I have?
That console right there. I don't know if you can see my mouse moving or not.
I can.
Yeah, that console right there is the one that my brother programmed to say, please insert 25 cents.
Is there a slot for putting in quarters?
No, there's not. So you just hit the start button a second time.
That would have been funnier if he put a little coin slot.
It would have been a little tin can right on the side with the slit in the top. Yeah. Holy cow! Wow, ancient history, absolutely. Unfortunately, it's regular history for me.
There's nothing wrong with that. This is actually kind of inspiring me. I think I'm going to take. Let me take you guys on a tour of my collection of games in a sec.
Ooh, that'll be fun.
Let me get my second camera up. All right, so forgive the mess. I've not cleaned my room in ages, but
that's the reason why I don't even have a camera.
Yeah, I don't care today. All right, so. Here's my computer, my little studio here. There's my desktop, but right over here you got a few of my games. So I've got my GameCube, my PS4 Pro. There's my dock for my Switch. Down here we've got my PS2, PS3, and Xbox 360. And the 360 is the one I barely ever play. Let me see if I can move this over here real quick. If you can see it, there's my SNES and my NES. Down there is my Dreamcast and my 64.
I forgot to mention Dreamcast. I have the Dreamcast too.
Dreamcast was awesome. And then there is my collection of games.
It looks like my brother's house.
Then Mr. Miles hops in out of nowhere. PC Master Race.
Hey, if I could show you my PC collection, I would. But that's my Steam that's my Steam account, and there's no physical copies of anything anymore, which makes me sad.
Speaking of which, we need to find a game that we both own on Steam that we can play together sometime.
Oh, sure. I'd love it.
So if you've got any favorites, shout them out, and I'll have a quick look at my library and see if I have it.
Well, most of my Steam collection is actually Star Wars games, if you can believe it.
Have you seen the preview for the new Star Wars Squadron? What was it? Or
Star Wars Squadrons. Yes, I have, and I'm excited about it.
my friend is already demanding that I get it.
I'm not going to pre-order it. Like I'll tell you that much right now. But I'm super excited. I'll tell you why. That like this game to me is a throwback to like the X-wing and TIE Fighter games.
Yes, yeah. That's quite literally my friend's like favorite game ever.
Oh yeah, and for good reason. Those games were amazing. I still have them actually. I bought this Humble Bundle a while back. They came with like almost all the Star Wars games for PC. And like I've got like TIE Fighter and X-Wing, both the special editions on them. My favorite game out of all those to play is actually the Knights of the Old Republic 2.
Yeah, that one's a good one. I was never able to beat it because of the glitch. I would always get stuck. My files would always run into the glitch where it wouldn't give me the ending.
Yeah. They apparently fixed that actually. With the PC version, and I played this one on the original Xbox, but if you were to get the PC version,
I have it.
That
on
actually, oh, perfect. Upgrade
I should play it on Steam.
Yeah, update that as much as you can, because apparently that one came out with to Mr. Miles's point when he says KOTOR 2 was a failure without the restored content mod. To a degree, yes, it was a bit of a failure because of the rush timeline, but they did implement elements of the restored content mod into the Steam release.
Well, and Steam is usually good with adding mods too. So,
oh yeah, they've got some texture mods that are actually really nice. But yeah, if you were to play Knights of the Old Republic 2, play it with the restored content mod.
unfortunately, that's not a multiplayer game, so that it doesn't help my situation where I said, "Let's."
I know it doesn't really count, but that's
what
the game I have.
Multiplayer games do you have?
Okay, well let me look at my collection right now. Let's see. So that's the problem. I don't have very many multiplayers. I usually game by myself. I'm just that guy. I don't know if any of the Fear series is multiplayer, but that's a shooter I have. I don't know if Ikaruga is online or if it's local multiplayer only, but that one's a great bullet hell shooter. If we can get that to work, that'd be great. I have Left 4 Dead 2, but I haven't been able to get that to work with a controller. Got Mortal Kombat Collection, Jedi Outcast and Jedi Academy are both multiplayers. I don't know if the servers are still up, but that's a thing we could do. And Battlefront 2, like the classic Battlefront 2 from 2005.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's about all I got.
Pretty sure I have that one.
There was a time when there were these buildings that were created that housed a whole bunch of video game cabinets. What were those called?
Are you talking about like cyber cafes?
I thought you might have a problem with this. They're called arcades.
Oh.
Real quick, Mr. Miles, I'll see if I can get that information for you. He's asking about an official statement about the restored content mod in the Steam release. I could swear I read it somewhere. Let me see if I can find it.
Well, anyway, there was a Star Wars game in the arcades, and it was a great big console game, and you sat inside of it, and it just had the two buttons on the little H handle, right? And you would fly, and I forget what that rendering is called, but it's basically all stick figures.
Are you talking about the one where every mission you're basically like in an X-wing or the snow speeder, and you had to shoot everything, and then it had like the bonus levels where you would go down like a path and you had to blast everything?
Well, the one I'm talking about is just the fight at the Death Star after Star Wars, the first Star Wars. So this is early '80s,
Oh,
and
okay.
you'd sit in there and you would knock out some of the turrets on top, and then you would go down into the trench and you would fight your way through the trench, knocking out some more turrets and trying to stay alive. Vector graphics, that's what it's called. Yeah, vector graphics. And so we were flying down the trench, and if you didn't hit those photon torpedoes just right, you lost the game. Oh, it was so much fun to play.
There was, I think it's a different one than the one you're mentioning, but it sounds similar because it was made in like the later '90s, early 3D graphics, and it was
Okay.
like you were in a cockpit, and so like the first mission was the Death Star run, and then if you beat the level with a certain score, you'd get a bonus like mini round,
Yeah.
and
I'm pretty
um,
sure I heard of that game. I just never played it. No, I was talking about the one from the early to mid 80s.
and I was obsessed with that one. I would hog it up. I would be like, "Oh, here's all my money I have to play at an arcade. I'm going on this one game," and I would beat it. I would beat all 3 levels and the bonus levels. The fun ones were when Boba Fett would try to attack you. You were Luke, and you had to block with the lightsaber.
Oh, I remember that one. That's
It had the
the
little
arcade
arrow.
cabinet, right?
It had
Yeah.
what? It had the little arrow, so it's like, oh, block left, block right, block up.
I do remember that one.
Jedi Knight Academy, is that part of the extended universe that's no longer canon?
Yeah, it is.
So it had Jason, Jaina, and Anakin, or was it just
that was
random characters?
actually with you got like a dude named Jaden Core as your
Oh
main
yeah,
character.
Jaden. Okay, all right.
But you also had Kal Katarn in it.
Don't know that one. Okay.
Yeah,
No,
no.
I read the novels, but I mean my memory is shot. So
Oh, I read the novels too. I loved them growing up.
oh, good God Almighty, the freaking
What?
Discord is blowing up right now.
Oh,
Annoys me. I get every damn notification. I can't figure out how to block them.
I was just shown the other day is all your channels that you have on the side. Right-click them, a tab will come up, and there should be a mute server, and it'll give you a time scale. But if you go all the way down to that, it'll say until I turn it back on.
Oh, I should do that then.
So you can mute all the ones you don't really pay attention to.
Hey, Wes, can you throw this link in the chat for Mr. Miles?
Yeah.
So, Mr. Miles, the link that that Wesley's going to put in the chat is a PC Gamer article that details the update that implemented the restored content mod.
So now, whenever you download it from Steam or somewhere else, it'll automatically have it.
Yes.
It's called Gets Controller Support and More.
Yep.
Okay. Admiral OF Doom would like to know if he could post a link to the original Star Wars game as well, the one that I was talking about with the vector graphics. I'm sure you guys would probably recognize it if you saw it.
Wait, the original Star Wars arcade game?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's what my friend has actually.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Love that game.
I wrote a mod, so he should be able to post links.
It is a YouTube video, so you have to watch it on your own. I learned that Friday night. Well, live and learn. I've only been doing this for 4 months now.
Yeah, you learn a lot of things.
Wow, the controller looks like Kit's steering wheel.
Yeah. No, he doesn't have this cabinet, but it's definitely the same game.
Oh, that is totally what we had.
I kind of outgrew arcade games, quite literally. I can't.
Yeah, I physically. Yeah, me too. I physically can't. I can't actually sit in one.
Not without like bending your legs in a weird manner.
Yeah, it's like going on Space Mountain. Really, you make it work, and it's just painful throughout, but you'll still have fun.
That is fantastic. Oh, and there's the graphics right there. You're going down the trench. Oh, yeah. Loved playing that game.
Yeah, that was not the one I was talking about, but it's similar in spirit.
Oh, hot dog.
Ramley Canuck made it on. So you see, Vash, see more people are rolling in.
Yeah.
Ramley Canuck is done with his barbecue already?
Dang it! You know what? I realized. I realized a few days ago that today's Father's Day, but what I didn't realize, of course, is that like I probably could have gotten like crazy good deals on steaks and stuff.
Yeah, in the rural areas, we don't get deals like that very often. And we do once in a while, but this year has been pretty tough. So I paid full price for all my meat this week. Made me very sad.
Yeah, yes, Admiral. That game is older than I am.
That game is about as old as I am.
I'm the old codger on the stream, then, huh?
Hey, you're only as young. You're only as old as you feel.
Oh well, in that case, I'm 80.
Well, my rule is you're only as old as the people you hang around. So I try to keep all my friends younger than me.
Yeah, I've been telling this for years, but I haven't been. I feel like I haven't aged a day over 15. That's updated, obviously. So I'm about like 19 in my head. I'm not leaving the teen years at all, ever.
Good for you, man. Good for you. I feel that way some days, but most days it's I feel my age. Trust me.
So for Mr. Miles, who said from the article, the Sith Lords restored content mod, which we took a look back in 2012, has been rolled into this game via the Steam Workshop. So on one hand, yes, you can. It's definitely up there. So if the game doesn't come with it, like the article seemed to have suggested to me, you could definitely get the mod through. Okay, so you can get the mod through the Steam Workshop, and it's super easy to do.
Number one sci-fi, hello.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us.
So any other game-related conversations you guys want to have? Oh, and I never got back to what I'm predicting where gaming might go.
Oh yeah,
Is
do it.
you're familiar with it, but Mr. CCDV is not. Is in the anime Sword Art Online, where players just put this like VR headset on their head, and they don't even need to move or do anything. They just literally kind of think of what they want their character to do.
Oh, my son would kill for that system.
That would be really cool, but that would also
but-
creep me out so bad.
Well, what I could see people doing is becoming obsessed with gaming, like we already are, and playing all night long instead of sleeping, which people already do.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But at least in a way, their body would be at rest. But then I could see people becoming very, very out of shape, like we already are. Okay, so yeah, there's nothing really that futuristic about that concept, but
Actually, this
Other than
reminds
the
me.
interface, because you would have to have the nodules actually near the cranial implants on your head, right? Not implants, but the cranial notches on your head. So the headset would have to be at least 3 times larger than it is now, and it's heavy enough as it is now.
they'll minimize it. If there's one thing history has taught us is new technology is always large and bulky, but then they basically perfect it and minimize it over time.
Yeah.
Well, fair enough. Yeah, I guess in 20 years it really would be just like putting on a pair of goggles, maybe with a cap.
You know, this actually reminds me of a movie that I watched like a while ago. I don't remember it actually being very good, but it's called Surrogates.
I think I recall that movie.
Is that the one? The cop? Everyone has a surrogate body, an android body.
Yeah, but with Bruce Willis.
Right, yeah. and the real people are all in like couches and things.
Yeah,
and you don't find that out till the end. Yeah,
exactly. That's what this reminds me of, and this also kind of scares me a little.
Mr. Miles is still talking about Coder 2 and the mods. And...
yeah. Honestly, if it'll work out, man, just don't. That's the thing. Like, and this is actually kind of contributes to the gaming conversation. I feel like people shouldn't have to buy a game again just because an enhanced version came out. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's the way I feel too. And I mean, you're talking. It extends far beyond video games. You've got extended cuts and director cuts of movies, and then you've got minor upgrades to power tools that really don't add anything. And
yep.
So, yeah, I agree with you 100%. I don't think the add-ons very often improve anything.
I will say this though, like with regard to movies, I kind of forgive it a little because they're a lot cheaper than games are. But like games like this perfect example of this one, Persona 5, $60 title. And then they came out with Persona 5 Royal, which is an enhanced version of the game with a bunch more content that they added, another $60 title. So if you wanted the full story, you'd have to buy the game twice. Now contrast that with
instead of just selling like an DLC that adds to the original.
Yeah, perfect example of that actually. As much garbage as this game gets on it, Final Fantasy 15 did that with the Royal Edition. Like you had to, if you had the game, you had to get like I think it's like a $15 or $20 add-on to access the content, but you got all the content that the Royal Edition implemented, but you didn't have to buy the whole game over again, which is something I super appreciated about it.
Mr. Miles is saying, I love Coder. I will talk about it for hours if you let me. Well,
hey, I'll talk about KOTOR all day if you let me do that.
What's the super popular online game that everybody's playing right now? They did the Star Wars Rise of Skywalker.
Fortnite.
Fortnite, yes. I think my son basically plays Fortnite because it's so cheap to buy the new skin packages and things like that. But I've never played it, so I don't know if the gameplay stays the same or if there's different levels to it or anything like that.
As far as I could tell, and this is an outsider looking in on it, Fortnite throughout is basically the same kind of game. It's a battle royale, but with building mechanics to it.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. So getting the new skin packages when they come out every 6 months kind of makes sense for that kind of thing then.
Yeah, and it doesn't really add anything to the game. It's purely cosmetic. But it's kind of a way to kind of brag to your friends about how you got like the latest thing. It's I don't like Fortnite.
I am not a fan of Fortnite because it just seems like a ripoff of PUBG.
Because it is a ripoff of
still
PUBG.
A teenager.
Yeah, that's probably why I don't like it. Is I'm not a younger teenager.
It's like
I thought the reason why you didn't like it is because you had good taste in games.
Well, I have good taste in games. I don't like any of them.
Hey, the whole taste debate's debatable. Like, there are some stinkers on my shelf that I absolutely love.
Now Mr. Miles is talking about Steam summer sales.
Oh, don't get me started, dude. Steam sales are part of the reason why I'm not getting a PS5 right away. I'm getting a I'm taking the money that I would normally put into a PS5 and buying a graphics card for my PC.
Good man.
I'll get the PS5 eventually because I want to play that Spider-Man game, but it's not my priority.
When it's half as much as release cost.
Yes.
Let me explain a little bit about the computer I'm working on right now.
And I have a Mr. Sci-Fi, number one sci-fi who wants in.
Hey,
Hello.
number one sci-fi.
Hey, number one sci-fi.
What up?
How has your Father's Day been today, Mr. Number One Sci-Fi?
What?
How has your Father's Day been today?
Okay. How about you?
Oh, not bad. I'm still waiting for my other son to call me. I'd like for my older daughter to call me too, but
Your other son?
not holding out hope.
Your other son, Wesley? No, I'm just kidding.
Wait, what?
I don't think Wesley's young enough to be my son.
Unless you had me at like 10.
I'm keeping my mouth shut on that one.
But everyone says that Bird of Prey is my uncle, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Bird of Prey and I are pretty much the same age, even though he sounds a lot older than I do.
Mr. Miles loves KOTOR. How about KOTOR 2?
Oh, I forget. That's like my favorite. That's my favorite Star Wars game, hands down. I love it.
Number 2 or the first one?
Number 2. The writing is just so good in that one.
Yeah.
Oh, also to answer Mr. Miles' question about what GPU, I'm looking at a RTX 2080 Super.
Yeah.
I'd have to look up the stats of that.
Mass Effect is still better than
That might be better than what I
KOTOR.
have.
You like KOTOR 2 better than KOTOR 1, says Mr. Miles?
Yes. Yeah, I do. I absolutely do.
I'm pretty sure Admiral likes aging himself.
My son will be 30 in October, so Admiral must be double that, 60, right? No.
No, my daughter will be 20 in November, so I'm nearly there. Nearly.
Kick him out now just because he likes KOTOR 2 better than KOTOR 1?
Hey, you can't get rid of me that easy, man. I'm sorry.
I mean,
Oh,
he
I'm
could-
sorry.
He could
Now,
have
if I
put
said
his
something,
channel, but it's not
No.
his channel.
now if I said
Control
something
two,
ridiculous like I like the Last Jedi better than The Empire Strikes Back, please kick me out.
Control two.
Like, kick me in the face, please. I need it.
He likes the Darth Vader.
Okay, now I'm gonna call you out though because you defended that movie though.
I did, and I still do. I don't think it's as bad as people say it is, but I will say, however, I will definitely say it's got issues. I'm not going to say it's a perfect movie at all. It's definitely got some issues.
If it weren't tied in with the original series, if it weren't tied in with the original trilogy, then
that's
yeah, it's a neat little adventure story.
I think
The
that's
problem
my biggest
is that it is tied in with the original trilogy, and so it drives me absolutely crazy.
The thing that I actually here's how I come at it. I love the original trilogy. Obviously, like I don't know anybody who doesn't. But like, dude, don't attack me. I'll attack myself first. And that's not even an attack. I feel like that's probably just a joke that Admiral Oliver Franklin Doom is.
Yeah, that's
given
just
to me.
a joke.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. I'm sorry. I'm feeling a little. I've been feeling a little salty since the PS5 reveal, and I can tell that story later. But anyway, getting back to the Star Wars conversation, I love the original trilogy. They were all like excellent movies, even like for their time, and even in comparison to movies that are being made now, they're fantastic. And then the prequels happened. That's all I'll say about that.
Fair enough.
Which unfortunately are intrinsically connected to the original trilogy. But the way that I see the sequel trilogy is more of a side story, kind of like a what if, like what if like we were to jump in 30 years down the line and see what the characters are doing now and see what the state of the galaxy is now. It's fine.
Yeah,
Rise of Skywalker notwithstanding, but it's fine.
Last week they released a press release, I think directly from Disney, if I remember correctly. I heard this from Clownfish TV, so I mean, it's third or fourth hand information. But they're talking about what's called the veil. And so they could drop a veil over the Disney trilogy and start fresh again if they wanted to with a new sequel trilogy. I don't know if they're actually going to or not. Oh, no, that was from Doomcock's channel. That's right. Okay. It wasn't from Clownfish. It was from Doomcock.
Here's the thing, though. I feel like at this point you can't. You could build on what's there. No, Admiral, I knew you were joking. It's fine. But like the sequel trilogy is there. They're whether we like it or not. But we can easily ignore them for what they're coming out with now. Like The Mandalorian, fantastic sequel series. It's absolutely great. The Clone Wars TV series, once you get past season 1, is actually a really good show. So there's potential to build Star Wars from the prequels and the sequels. You just have to have good ideas, and the ideas that they went with regard to the movie trilogy, the sequel movie trilogy, could have been a lot better, especially Rise of Skywalker. And I will attack that movie to my grave.
They really should have had a through line. And
okay,
son and I walked out of Rise of Skywalker going, well, I guess they finished the series. They didn't fill all the holes, but I guess they did.
In fact, they kind
of
made them worse. I've got things to say about that, and I'm not going to. Not going to do it. I'm not going to do that today. I'm not going to be that guy.
We're on this topic, and I haven't been able to chime in.
Go for it.
I'm in a totally different boat than you.
I know you are.
So coming in to the sequel trilogy, being announced, as a fan, all I wanted was for respect for the original characters and to pass the torch on to new heroes. And then when it was announced, I don't even think like the character name was announced. It was just like, oh, the main character is going to be a female. I was like, I was down for that. I wanted to see a type of Jaina Solo character.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Me too.
And
The funny thing is, no, go ahead.
And what's the most upsetting to me is it feels like all the original characters they didn't portray the characters with respect. All the originals, except for maybe Chewbacca, but Chewbacca's just kind of there. And it feels like they took little bits of expanded universe, threw 90% of the way, except for the little bit they wanted to, but then didn't do a good job at it.
Yeah, like Ben Solo, right? That was supposed to be Ben Skywalker. What the hell did the Solo family have to do with Ben Kenobi? Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, that's
the
naming
scene on the Death Star.
Here's the funniest thing about that, though. Like going back to the novels, I think so. If I remember correctly, Han and Leia had 3 kids: Jason, Jaina, and Anakin. Right?
Yeah.
Why would they name their kid Anakin?
Well, Anakin was technically Leia's father.
Yes, but the
Leia
only
hated her father.
Yeah, Leia hated her father. It's in the novels. She freaking hated him. Anakin appeared to Leia to ask for forgiveness like 3 different occasions, and every occasion she's like, "F off, I don't want to talk to you." Every single time.
I actually didn't read those novels. He appeared as a Force ghost to her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Actually, I think that was comic material.
Yeah.
But it's still EU canon. That hasn't been that's undisputable.
The final son, Anakin, the third son, Anakin, it doesn't really. He wasn't a good written character.
No, he was kind of a Gary Stu.
Yeah.
And then they killed him just for plot point.
Well, you can argue that's basically every character that they kill, but the way that he went down was actually, like, 1, kind of badass, but 2, kind of derivative of anime. He basically went Super Saiyan with the light side of the Force.
Okay, but you have to admit the way they killed off Chewbacca was pretty amazing. They had to drop the moon on him to kill him.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
People got a lot of garbage about that one, but I loved that death scene.
Yeah.
Like, this is a dude. I don't know if anybody in the chat's actually read the novels, but like, they activate this device to drop a moon on the planet that Chewbacca's on. He basically saves Anakin Solo, and like has them leave. Looks up at the moon coming down on the planet and roars in defiance as it like impacts the planet.
He's just like, "Bring it on! I will catch it."
Love it.
Pretty much.
That is the best ending for a Star Wars character ever.
Anyways, Force Awakens was like meh, and there was some points in it that don't make any sense to me. I think it was bad writing, but The Last Jedi just ruins the entire, that trilogy for me. And in my opinion, I felt like Rise of Skywalker tried to make up for it. Just there was nothing really you could have done to make up for The Last Jedi.
Now, I'll counter that with 2 things. One, I wanted to respond real quick to Mr. Miles about Mass Effect. I like Mass Effect 1 through 3. The ending notwithstanding of 3, because that was a bad ending. But I'm trying to play through Mass Effect Andromeda, and it's hard. Not that it's difficult, it's just hard to play through because of how interestingly bad it is. Now getting back to the topic of Star Wars, here's what I'll say. The Last Jedi absolutely has its issues. I personally enjoy it mostly because I like KOTOR 2, and I like some of the deconstruction that The Last Jedi did. But by itself, it's problematic. Like it's I wouldn't say problematic, but it's definitely got its issues by itself. Now, had you taken had you kind of rolled with it, it could have been a nice, like, it could have been like decent connective tissue to an otherwise fantastic ending, and then they made The Rise of Skywalker.
I still would have preferred
I'm
for Luke
missing
to
what-
show up in person on that salt planet, whatever
I'm
it was
missing-
called.
what your disagreement is with Rise of Skywalker.
Okay, so my apologies. I still a little salty about that one. Rise of Skywalker spent a lot of time, despite what they were saying in interviews about like not really wanting to undo anything that The Last Jedi did. It took a lot of time, a surprisingly amount of time, to kind of quote unquote make up for the stuff that Rise of Skywalker, not Rise, that The Last Jedi did.
They didn't
and
make up for anything. They gave the middle finger to it many, many times.
Right, but the thing
That's
is,
what they did.
the problem though is with storytelling, you can't do that. You really can't do that. You kind of it's like improv, kind of playing the game yes and in improv. You have to take what's before and work with it.
Right. Instead, they said, no, this is, instead of yes and.
Exactly. Now, the reason why I see this as strenuously as I do is because I'm reading the script for what was supposed to be episode 9. And so far, at least as far as like the bones of it that I've had described to me, it could have been really good. Like, you got elements of that movie that are fantastic. Like, just to give some examples of it, Rose has more of a diplomatic bent to her character, so she's going around and trying to drum up support for the resistance. So you actually give her something to do. You get more time with Finn and Poe working off of each other, so that's something that was desperately needed in both The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. You lean hard into Rey being no one, like coming from nowhere, which I thought it was a great reveal. Mileage may vary on that one. I know that people have like really strong feelings about that, but they really lean hard into it and make it make good sense. Luke comes back to train Rey as a Force Ghost, which is what I really wanted to see from Episode 9. And you've got Kylo Ren really leaning into the dark side of things. There's a portion of the movie where it actually has him, like, it's this part where like you get a scene that's reminiscent of the cave on Dagobah with Luke and Vader, but it's with Kylo Ren and Vader. They fight, and Kylo Ren gets his ass kicked.
Well, that would be cool to see.
Right.
Instead of the Rey fight that we got.
Oh God. There's more though. Coruscant is in this this script that they dropped. The First Order actually makes it all the way to Coruscant and occupies it. They rule the galaxy now. Like,
well, yeah, to make this trilogy make sense, they would have had to have gone to Coruscant.
Right. So they rule from Coruscant. Hux is Chancellor of the First Order, and you've got like an upper class and lower class situation on the planet. Finn is there, rallying forces to fight the First Order head on. And it's actually like the way that it's described, it's really cool. They've got like old Empire tech that they're using on the planet for like the side of the rebellion. So you've got like old school stormtroopers going up against First Order stormtroopers. You got like old ATSTs and stuff like fighting against some of the war machines that the First Order has. It's a bit like what was that movie? It's a bit like Les Miserables. It's a bit like the French Revolution, but in Star Wars, and it's really cool. It sounds really, really cool.
That may have been a better third movie.
Yeah, like
Well, I want to interrupt here for a second. Wesley, would you like to say hello to the new people in the chat?
I see DJ on there and Joseph. Joseph made it. I don't know if my page is loading up all the chats or not.
It is, yeah. I think DJ and Yosef are the only new ones in here. But I figured I'd interrupt our conversation to give you the opportunity to say hello.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I can go on for days about Star Wars.
Oh, you and I both. Oh, don't even. Oh, DJ would hate me for saying this, but don't even start with Dune.
I'm at a disadvantage here. I've never actually. This is where I lose my nerd card. I haven't.
LG Pixel says I sent my guys to you, so I'm guessing he ended his stream.
Thank you, LDG.
I haven't read or seen anything related to Dune.
Okay.
So
well, that's a moot subject then. That's perfect because
I hear good things about it though. Like I hear like really good things about it.
There's a bunch of people who are tired of hearing me talk about it.
I plan to see the new stuff when it comes out. I just haven't. I haven't read any of the Dune novels or seen the older movies and stuff.
You'll probably appreciate this movie better if you don't.
There are some advantages you have when a reboot comes out if you don't know the original.
Yeah, exactly.
When Battlestar Galactica came out, I knew of the original but never really watched it, and so I was watching it as a fresh viewer. So changing things like Starbuck and things like that had no effect on me.
I really had a lot of trouble with Battlestar Galactica for the first season. I really did.
Honestly, like I've never seen the original Battlestar Galactica. But I got most of the way through the reboot. I had issues going through it the first time, mostly because I kind of just wasn't ready to watch it. But I think it was like episode 5. Like there was like the 5th episode of that first season. They did this.
I'm just gonna say goodnight to Yosef real quick. Good night, Yosef.
Good night, dude.
Good night, Yosef. We'll see you in the morning, or tomorrow afternoon, whatever.
Also, Yosef, I really appreciate the comment. I appreciate the encouragement. So thanks. Sleep well, dude. And Odyssey, that's okay. I'll leave it at that. I'll just leave it at that. That's all right. But like, there's this episode where it starts off with Starbuck having to do a crash landing, and then it goes back to the events that led to that moment. Personally, I love episodes that are like that. It's like it throws you in full force to what's going on, and then it kind of like catches you up later. That's a personal thing for me. I really like episodes like that.
Okay, I'm more old school. I like the linear progression. I don't like the climax to be first before the rest of the story. But that's a personal personal choice.
For me,
that's fine.
The writing, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, because too often it reveals too much in that, it's like the first minute or whatever. It reveals too much because you already kind of know what bad thing is going to happen. You're just seeing how they got to that point.
Right. And that's why you have to do it really well. Like if you add any context to that climax moment when you're showing it, you failed. You kind of ruin the moment.
Okay.
But also you can't do it all the time. Like you can't have a full series of like climax, backtracking, and then build up to climax. You can't. That would wear on an audience super, super hard.
A lot of TV shows are doing that now as well. It's just a clever writing trick that they use to keep people involved in the show, and it drives me crazy. It actually loses me. DJ Odyssey actually forgives you for not having any Dune background, because that outweighs the fact that you never watched OG Battlestar.
I'll get to OG Battlestar. Come on, you gotta give me some time.
So Vash, just so you know, so DJ Odyssey has his own channel, and he makes content regularly. LDG Pixels has his own channel and makes content regularly. Mr. Miles is a editor for a large channel. He, Yosef has like 55 subs and no content.
Yeah, he just happens to be in the community. Hello, Yosef. Good night, Yosef.
And Thomas Potts is a loyal viewer, but doesn't make any content.
Well, you know what? I appreciate being in the company of all you guys. This is actually a really fun stream to be a part of.
And we do this like on a daily basis. As soon as I end a stream, someone else is going to start one.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
There's 24-hour content in this community.
And then the big channels come on Anti-Check or Bird of Prey, and they just kind of push everyone out of their way.
We're working on it.
Speaking of content, do you mind if I tell you guys something about? Huh?
I'm making a comment on Thomas. Thomas, I didn't mean to me, but I meant you're always on somebody's channel or always watching. Thomas Potts is always there. All right, go ahead.
Gotcha.
Go ahead.
Okay, so do you mind if I I guess tease something that I'm working on?
Yeah, go for it. What?
Okay, so as most of you in the stream know, I work primarily on Twitch. But what I plan to do is I actually plan to take some of the content from my Twitch channel and upload it to my YouTube channel, which has like almost no content. It's basically like I made the channel back in I want to say like 2009, like maybe 2010. Back when like it was all free basically and like no one really cared. And I've got like a video of a concert and like people in a circle doing the caramel dancing dance from a con. That's about all I have on my channel. But what I plan to do is I plan to upload clips from my streams on Twitch to my YouTube channel, so you guys can at least see what I do on my not long form. Like I'm not going to throw like a 2-hour stream on my channel unless you really really want me to, but I'll throw in something like maybe like half-hour max of like what my stream might have looked like at some point. Like the thing that I think I plan to upload first is from my last stream of The Last of Us. What you may not know about that stream though is that I ended that stream early to see if I could get through PT. If I'll say what PT is. PT is that is the playable teaser rather to a planned Silent Hills game helmed by Hideo Kojima from Metal Gear Solid and Guillermo del Toro.
That's a good combination.
It is. It's spooky as hell. There's a lot of really interesting reactions I made to it. Spoilers, I didn't finish. But you'll see how I didn't finish.
Yeah, my longest edited video is 30 minutes, and that's a Starship Troopers review between the book and the movie. Other than that, I try and keep them under 10 minutes. My live streams, I just go live, and then whatever YouTube allows to upload, I don't even debate anything that YouTube strikes,
Yeah.
I just go, here you go, whatever, I don't care. Most of my live streams go up. As a matter of fact, I haven't taken down my karaoke stream from Saturday night. I may actually get in trouble for that.
I keep meaning to join Rambling Canuck on those, and even when I am home, I just get distracted.
But for instance, DJ Odyssey did an 8-hour and 44-minute stream last night. When I went to bed, he was streaming, and he was at like 3 hours. When I got up,
my gosh!
He was at 8 hours, and by the time we were done with the morning Jedi Bill and I do weekends where we do the morning brew, I think is what it's called. Don't hold me to that. Anyway, it was only an hour this morning, so by the time we were done, DJ was done and everybody else was done. I think we were all ready to take a nap.
Yeah, that's pretty freaking hardcore, man. I don't know. I get a little winded after I do like I did a 2.5 hour stream once, and I got a little winded off of that. So if you can go like 8 hours, that's really impressive.
Dude, I went stream hopping like 2 weeks ago. I was on 4 different streams in a row, or was it
Nice.
5? And by the end of it, I was so drunk I didn't even know where I was.
Yeah.
So you basically did an online pub crawl.
Yeah, yes, and it started with our friend. Our friend does a Thursday night virtual pub, and I was like, "Well, I close tomorrow. No, it's off the next day. I'm off tomorrow. I haven't had drinks in a long time. You know, I missed my birthday. I'm going to drink tonight." And then by the end of the night, my whole bottle was gone.
Oh man, dude! I once had I once took like a bottle of Caskmates. That was like maybe a third of the way down. And by the time I left my fiance's house, I had finished the whole bottle. We're just like,
that's a lot.
That was the best comment ever, DJ.
Wait, did that really happen?
Yes.
Well, you played D&D with us for a little while.
Yeah. So I not only was on 4 different streams, but I was also in a D&D game, and then I lost track of what stream I was on. And then everyone was telling me to go to bed. 2 times I left for reasons, and they were taking bets if I would come back. And I would come back. And they're like, "Go to bed, Wes."
Go to bed, Wes.
Then they were taking bets if I would throw up the next morning, and I didn't.
Hey, sometimes, like, honestly, I've had like, this is one night. I was at a birthday party for my fiance at her house. I drank so much rum that I got blackout drunk and like threw up carrots all like freaking everywhere, all over myself. Passed out, woke up on the couch, missing clothes, and someone had to come out and tell me what happened. Best part, no hangover.
Well, not for another day anyway.
Oh no, I've to this day never had a hangover.
Oh, good for you.
I was toasted off. Wesley, you were there for my for that birthday party that I threw at City Walk when we went to watch The Crimes of Grindelwald, right?
I know it was at multiple different birthday parties you had there, but what year was that?
I have to look at what I think it was like 2016. I have to look at when the movie came out.
I thought Grindelwald was 18.
You know, it was 18. My mistake.
Okay, I was there for 2016, and we saw the first one of that franchise. The
Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah, Fantastic Beast.
Okay. So maybe you weren't there for Crimes of Grindelwald. I knew going in that the movie was probably going to be really bad, but I still wanted to see it. So, and here's the story about that. At the time,
I was there. There.
So for anybody catching up, at the time, I used to host parties at Howl at the Moon at City Walk at Universal Studios in Hollywood. It was like a happy hour party. All you really had to do was like say, "Hey, I'm coming through. I'm bringing this many people," and they're like, "Cool, we'll give you discounts." So knowing this movie was going to be as bad, thinking this movie was going to be as bad as it is, it's worse, by the way. We went to Howl at the Moon first and got plastered, like absolutely toasted, and then went to watch the movie. Like I could barely. I was actually stumbling to the theater. Like it was a short walk to the theater to get to the to get to where the movie was showing, and I was like stumbling to get there.
I had my scarf, right? I think that
Yeah,
was
I think so.
Yeah. So I had my 27-foot long doctor scarf, and I was like wrapping a small part of it around each person with like 3 feet gap between. I'd be like, "This is the safety line."
Just an FYI though, DJ Odyssey, if he gets to 500 subs by the 4th of July, he will attempt a 48-hour stream.
All right, everyone, make five fake accounts.
Yep, get over there, do it.
Do it.
How many is he at now? 4 something, right?
I don't know. I'd have to look it up. You want me to look it up and see?
That would be nice.
Okay.
So yeah, then we get to the movie theater and it has the reclining chairs, the really comfy reclining chairs, and we all just like leaned back. And I just passed out. I saw like the first 15 minutes of the movie, and then woke up when the movie was over.
I made it about halfway through.
470 subscribers right now.
Oh, so he just needs like 30 more.
Yeah, just 30 more.
Oh, that should be easy. Yeah, I made it like halfway through the movie, and this is including getting a ton of popcorn, a ton of water, and having to make frequent bathroom breaks. And then I passed out.
I was pretty much in that state as well when I went to see X-Men Apocalypse.
Ooh.
Yeah.
To be fair,
I actually remember much of the movie.
I still haven't seen that, and I've been meaning to.
I have seen it.
I don't intend to watch it again. Although I didn't actually watch it the first time.
The advice I have for you on that one, don't expect it to be loyal to the comics at all. Like even with regard to like Apocalypse's power set. Just don't even go there.
No, I'm fully aware. I've seen the reviews since then, so it's not
as bad as X-Men 3.
Oh, then it's not that bad.
Well,
it's not like you won't. Here's the thing: it's not good, but you won't be hating life by watching it. You might eye roll a bit, especially near the end, but it's about as far as it goes.
I'm not Wolverine. What's his real name? Hugh Jackman. I'm a Hugh Jackman fan, so I actually kind of like X-Men 3.
There are parts of X-Men 3 I like. I won't say it was a good movie, but there are parts of it I definitely do enjoy.
Yeah, it wasn't a good movie, and it didn't make sense, and it shouldn't have had that through line. But Hugh Jackman was still a badass in that part.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you what my favorite part of the movie is, and you might judge me for it, but that's just me and the internet. It's that part, and I'll spoil this because no one really needs to watch X-Men 3. Let's be real. But one of my favorite parts in the entire movie is when Shadowcat is trying to beat Juggernaut to the mutant kid that they're trying to protect. So Juggernaut's like barreling through walls, like just trying to get to this kid. Shadowcat jumps at him, pulls him into the floor, and then runs off. And he goes, "Don't you know who I am? I'm the Juggernaut, bitch!"
Yeah, that was awesome. Plus, the actor who played Juggernaut in that was amazing.
Oh yeah, Vinny Jones is awesome.
His name.
It was a stupid line, but it was funny.
It was a stupid line, but it was also a reference to an internet video where that line exists.
And the way he pulled it off, too. I mean, you're talking lock, stock, and 2 smoking barrels, and that guy just pulled it off in a heartbeat. I loved it.
My favorite part of that movie is when Magneto just picks up all of the Golden Gate Bridge. Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Oh, also the fastball special.
I don't remember that one.
Oh, fastball special is like a great moment in the comics where basically Wolverine gets thrown.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, where Magneto just picks him up and just throws him to the forest.
Well, no, actually, I'm talking about the part where like Colossus does. Is it? Yeah, it was Colossus that does it. He basically picks him up and throws him at Magneto.
Are you talking about the beginning of the movie where in the danger room, and he
Well,
does that?
there's that part in the danger room also, but it happens at the end of the movie too.
Oh,
I mean, it doesn't work, but it was supposed to be a distraction, so it kind of did.
Oh, okay. No, I don't remember that part. The part I remember most, and this is the part I remember most, basically because A, I thought it was cool at the time, and B, the pitch meeting.
I love that show.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And so he's walking up the hill toward Phoenix, right? And the producer says, "Oh, so all or no, the director says all of his clothes get burned off." And the director and the producer says, "Oh no, this is a PG-13. Okay, so his shirt gets blown off." And he keeps walking up the hill. So I thought it was cool just because he was walking up the hill against the Phoenix, right? And then and then of course from the pitch meeting, it's like, oh no, not all of his clothes got blown off.
Like, wow, sounds like that's going to be a really big problem. Actually, it'd be super easy, barely an inconvenience.
Barely an inconvenience.
I can't tell you how hard I'm trying to incorporate that specific phrase into everyday life.
Oh, I know. My kids and I do it all the time. It's like, hey, can you put molding around that door frame? Oh, yeah, super easy. Barely an inconvenience.
I should try that
Like,
at
so
work sometime.
Like, so you have to take all 6 of those like really heavy heavy boxes of legal paper all the way across to the other building. That sounds really difficult. Actually, it's super easy.
Super
Barely
easy.
an inconvenience.
Barely an inconvenience. Oh, jeez.
Oh man.
See,
Yeah.
now you know the fun that we have on these things.
It's true.
So,
No, it's totally true.
And if you get your YouTube channel going, you can do the exact same thing.
Yeah, like I said, I operate more on Twitch, but I do need to build my YouTube channel also. So when the time comes, I'll definitely be doing that.
I mean, I even share my game streams. I mean, my gaming through this too is just hit share screen and throw it up there. And
Yeah,
yeah,
the
that's
only
true. I don't actually have a Steam account, so when Wesley invites me, it's through StreamYard, and I go on there and make fun of him while he's trying to make his way through the camps and things like that.
No, that's fair. Hey, I'll have the only issue is that I'm a Twitch affiliate now. So there are some limitations that I have. Like primarily I can't stream to both YouTube and Twitch at the same time. But that doesn't mean is that I can't stream to YouTube at all. So I can definitely still do that.
okay,
That's a channel that I have to build. I haven't done that with I did that more with Twitch than I did with YouTube. So once I actually get all the work done in making sure that my channel is ready on YouTube, I can definitely do that. I can definitely do that more.
Yeah, I basically just tell stories on mine. I've done one book review. I intend to do a couple more book reviews and things like that. But mainly I'm telling my story as a 18-year veteran of the Army. So I got a lot of, I call them memoirs of a Pogue. And Pogue is spelled Pogue.
and
Person on ground with unused equipment.
Bruce just hopped in. Greetings, Bruce. I haven't seen you around before. A lot of new faces today.
Yeah.
Admiral.
Admiral Oliver Franklin Doom.
Yeah.
I know he said that we can call him Admiral, but I'm still using the full name. I'm
It's
having
easy,
fun.
barely inconvenience.
Oh man. So I got a couple of things. Actually got a couple other things I need to do today, so I'm gonna have to hop off in a few.
Yeah, I was gonna call it. It's already been 2 hours.
Holy crap!
Yeah.
It really has been.
Time flies, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
I've got something I need to get done too. So
Yeah, I do need to call my dad, and my fiance and I are supposed to be working out some wedding stuff today. So busy day for a Sunday.
Well,
you haven't
hello,
called your
Bruce,
dad yet?
and
Come on, call your
apparently
dad.
goodbye, Bruce. So
No, I haven't called my dad yet, and bear in mind when you got a hold of me this morning to hop on the stream, I had just woken up.
It was like 11:30.
Yeah, I woke up at noon today.
Well, then you get going. You go call your dad.
I wish
Yeah, I
I could
will.
sleep like that. It was nice meeting you, Black Vash.
Hey, nice meeting you guys too. We'll have to do this again.
Yep,
Oh
yeah.
you're welcome to if you stay up late at night, you're welcome to show up to Jedi Bill 797. We do the Insomniac Soup is what we call it, and it starts 10 p.m. our time.
Cool. Yeah. Actually, Wes, if you could let me know when that happens, I'll see if I'll see if my schedule supports it at all. But if it does, I'll definitely come by again.
It'd be easy for me to invite you to my stream. It'd be a little bit more difficult if I'm trying to get you on someone else's stream.
Ah,
But
right.
But for me to invite you again, that no problem. Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry about that, Wesley. I don't have a wrench, so I couldn't put Jedi Bill 797 in the chat. So I apologize for that.
We could do that. You paste it in the private chat, and then I paste it into the comments.
Okie dokie.
Or I could rent you.
That's up to you. I've got too many wrenches as it is.
Actually, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to go ahead and subscribe to that channel now, so I don't forget about it.
Private chat.
Oof, man, you guys have some really long chats going on.
It's called Insomniac Soup for a reason.
That's so fair.
I really did not intend Thursday night to host the stream for 8 hours, but I did anyway. So
that's impressive.
Every hour or so, I kept going, oh, hey, Bird of Prey is doing, oh, hey, Number One Sci-Fi is doing, oh, hey, DJ Odyssey is, oh, hey, LDG Pixels is, but we just kept talking.
No, that's easy to do. That's how we got to 2 hours today.
Yeah, true enough.
All right. Anyway, I should probably get going. So yeah, if you guys are willing to have me back, I'll definitely stop by again.
I'm not actually a co-host for Wesley. That's up to Wesley.
Yeah, it's random on my channel. Never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, just let me know when you're on, and if I'm free, I'll join you.
All right, sounds good. And all right, everyone, thank you for coming by. Thanks for watching.
Hey, no problem. Hey guys, it was great. It was great hanging out with all you guys, especially you guys in the chat. Mr. Miles, keep hating on Andromeda, man. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. So have a great day, you guys.
Hey, it was nice meeting you, Black Vash.
Nice to meet you too.
Happy Father's Day.
And I'm gonna call it here. Thanks for stopping by. See you guys around.
Thanks for having me, Wesley.
Have a good day. Bye.
Bye.